What's up, YouTube? CJ Extreme here to talk about my predictions for NXT Takeover New York WrestleMania weekend on Friday, not Saturday like it normally is, but Friday this time. And then they'll have the Hall of Fame, and then they'll have WrestleMania. So the reason that they're doing this, at least is what I think most likely, is because NXT is usually really, really good, and the crowd gets like really excited for it. So then when you move on into WrestleMania, the crowd might be a bit burned out, if you will, because they just saw NXT Takeover. So it's like they hold that to the standard, or hold WrestleMania to that standard the very next day. And then if it doesn't deliver, the crowd is usually, less entertained. It doesn't necessarily have to always do with that. It could be the booking, it could be a lot of factors, but I think that's part of the reason at the very least. Anyways. Velveteen Dream versus Matt Riddle. Velveteen Dream defending the championship against Riddle in a great matchup, I assume. I think it's going to be really, really good because of their contrasting styles. The only problem is I don't think this is a match that can happen just spontaneously. I think they're both really creative. They would have to watch a lot of tape on each other or choreograph this. This is what I'm thinking. Because they're just so different, you know what I mean? They're just so different. I know Ricochet and Velveteen were extremely different in terms of their styles, and they were able to do it, but it was a lot of spots in that one, so I assume, they probably went over a bunch of spots or whatever, and I'm hoping that's what they do here in this matchup as well. But for my prediction, I think Matt Riddle will win the championship here. And the main reason I think that is because of Tommaso Ciampa being out right now, but I'll get into more details on that later on for my other prediction, which probably kind of gave away what my prediction is for the main event. Regardless, I think Matt Riddle's probably going to win, probably via pinfall by knocking Dream out. I don't know. That's all I can think of. I don't see him tapping. If he taps, it damages his character. If he gets maybe not knockout, maybe he just gets pinned, maybe he gets rolled up into the pinning predicament. That's all I can really think of. Or maybe Riddle turns heel and he just beats the piss into freaking Velveteen Dream. I don't know. That could happen. But I just see there's a lot of ways this can go. And I think all of them benefit Riddle in the long run here since he's undefeated. I don't see why he would lose here in the championship match. I don't see why. Anyways, tag team matchup. I think this probably is the easiest one to predict due to the circumstances, and I'll explain why. But I could be completely wrong here. Tag team championships on the line: the War Raiders versus Ricochet and Aleister Black. With Ricochet and Aleister Black also having a championship match, I believe, on the pre-show, maybe on the main card as a show opener, but most likely on the pre-show. I think they can't win this one. Well, then they won't lose twice in a row. What? This is a weird one, isn't it? This is a weird one. Because they could win the championships at WrestleMania for the SmackDown Live Tag Team Championships, even though the story makes no sense. But it does, but it doesn't. I think it would just be better if they were to lose here and then win the championships at WrestleMania, I think. That's just me. I just think it just wouldn't fit if they did it the other way around, with them losing or with them winning the championships here and then defending them or bringing them to WrestleMania or whatever. I don't know. It's hard to predict. I thought this was going to be really easy, but War Raiders just won the championships. They're not going to lose to a team that just came together. It just doesn't make sense if that were to happen, if we're looking at it from a really simplified standpoint. Anyways, the United Kingdom Championship, Pete Dunne versus Walter. Another one that's easier to predict, I think. Even though I've seen this argument on Instagram saying that Pete Dunne will retain his championship because if he loses it to Walter, if he loses his championship to Walter in New York, it will only damage like the brand itself because the title's changing hands outside of the United Kingdom. I think it can still do that and still be just as effective. I think it's still fine. because Pete Dunne has been champion for so long, And for them to put this match here, for him and Walter, there's no way that Walter can lose other than by Pete Dunne getting himself disqualified, getting counted out, being a heel. That's the only thing I can think of, and I feel like he doesn't need to do that. I think Pete Dunne can lose his championship here and immediately move on to the main roster on Raw, assuming that Ricochet and Aleister Black win the tag team championships and go to SmackDown. I just think that could work. It's a lot of factors here, outside factors. But I'm going with Walter winning here. I think there's going to be those two title changes, and then we're going to have the War Raiders retain. Now moving on to the Women's Championship. Who I want to win, obviously, is Kairi Sane. If you know anything about these predictions, every time she's in the mix, I'm like, she's going to win, obviously. But that's not really, not everything, but you know. Kairi Sane, Io Shirai, Bianca Belair challenging Shayna Baszler for her championship. And I'm pretty sure the other horsewomen of the MMA world are definitely going to get involved here to try to help Shayna retain. This is a risky one. I could see Shayna retaining here because a lot of titles I'm already predicting are changing hands. And NXT isn't really known for having a lot of titles change hands. But since it's WrestleMania time, I mean, they can kind of do whatever, I think. I don't see Bianca winning here, even though I'd be fine with her if she did win. I see Io Shirai probably getting close to winning the championship, and then Kairi Sane maybe pulling the ref out of the ring, and then they get into a fight on the outside. And maybe Kairi Sane throws Io Shirai out of the ring and steals the pin, and she turns heel against Io Shirai, and then for Shayna's farewell rivalry, she can go and fight Bianca Belair. I think I just figured it out. I think Kairi Sane is going to win the championship here. Or Io Shirai, but I'm going to go with Kairi Sane, and then Kairi will lose championship to Io, and that'll be her farewell rivalry when she loses the championship to Io. There's no way they wouldn't do this matchup, and then maybe somewhere down the line they'll team up again and then go after the Women's Tag Team Championships on the main roster. Regardless, the final matchup, Adam Cole, baby, against Johnny Wrestling, Johnny Takeover, Johnny Gargano. Now, based off what I said earlier, you probably know what I'm going to say. I'm going to explain it. I think Adam Cole is going to retain the championship, win the championship in his best 2 out of 3 falls matchup. I think he'll win the first fall. I think Johnny Gargano will win the second fall. And then Adam Cole will win the final fall. That's what I think is going to happen here. Now, they could do Adam Cole loses the first fall, Undisputed Era comes out, interferes, and then he wins the second fall, and then Adam Cole wins the third fall as well. I could see that happening too, but I'm going to go with just the first one. Adam Cole 1, Johnny 2, and then Adam Cole 3. So, here's why I think this in full. Since Tommaso Ciampa is injured, this rivalry with him and Johnny Gargano will probably continue onto the main roster at some point. Johnny Gargano has done pretty much everything he can on NXT at this point, and he's one of those guys who doesn't need to win the championship. He is just one of those people. I don't even think Velveteen needs to win the championship. Johnny could win the championship here, but it would make more sense for Adam Cole to win the championship this time around. It just makes more sense to me. So when they compete against each other, I think this match is going to be the best match on the whole show. Potentially the best match on the whole show. I could be wrong, but that's what I think. But Tommaso Ciampa's gone, so they can't finish the rivalry, can't conclude it with a good, feel-good moment. And so I think with Gargano winning here, I think that'll be it. Now, they could go a completely different direction. Gargano wins championship, you still get the feel-good moment, and then Gargano gets beat down by the Undisputed Era, and then when his farewell rivalry will be against the Undisputed Era, and then Adam Cole win the championship back in a rematch where I don't know how it will go. I don't know. I'm just going to go with Adam Cole winning, though. I don't know, man. I hope that all makes sense, though. Basically, they need to move on, I guess. That's just most of the rivalries that I've described here. It's just people that are moving on to the main roster, basically. Now, I could be wrong, but that's the whole fun of this, you know. I got a few of them wrong last time, didn't I? I think I did. Anyways, thanks for watching. That's it.